One Percenter Podcast with Sam Bakhtiar, bringing you the 1% knowledge to help you reach your full potential. Learn what it takes to rise above the 99% and become a 1%er.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about who I am and how I became a millionaire. Hey guys, if you're not following me on Instagram, on Facebook, make sure you follow. And as usual, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. So let's talk about my career journey and how I became a millionaire. Well, I immigrated to this great country, United States, in 1985 with me, my mom, and $500 worth of luggage. And all I wanted to do is play soccer. But in 1985, in the middle of nowhere, America, Sharon, Pennsylvania, to be exact, they didn't have a soccer team. So I was in a new country, I didn't speak the language, and then nobody really liked me. I was the only minority in that little town. So I tried out for the basketball team, and I got cut from the basketball team. It was the most devastating thing in my life. So my mom encouraged me not to give up and go to the boys club after school so I can get better at basketball to try out next year. As I was going to the boys club one day to try to get better at basketball, I saw these guys that were coming from this room. And these guys were all yoked out. They all looked like Arnold and Sylvester Stallone. And at that time, the Rocky movies were like the thing to watch. And I was like, okay, what are they doing? So I went to this room and I saw these big buff guys just lifting heavy weights and they were screaming. And I'm like, I want to look like that. So I started working out and I fell in love with the iron. But growing up, my mom told me, Sam, to be successful in life, you can only be three things if you want to be successful: a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. So growing up, I thought that the only path to success was one of those three. And now that I fell in love with the iron, I wanted to incorporate iron with a degree. So I started doing some research. What doctor has to do with muscles, bones, and nutrition? And I got more into my research. I came up with Doctor of Chiropractic. So I went to Penn State University and I graduated with my pre-medicine nutrition degree. And I went to Los Angeles College of Chiropractic and I got my doctorate degree. And I didn't want to become a chiropractor because I wanted to practice chiropractic. I wanted to become a chiropractor, one, because to please my mom. After all, she came to this country, brought me here, and I at least owe that to her. But also secondly, because I wanted to know everything there was about bodybuilding: anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, and nutrition. As a matter of fact, and I applied it to myself as a bodybuilder, every step of the way. Now, fast forward, I graduated, I gave my diploma to my mom. My mom just was ecstatic that her son is a doctor, and now she bragged to all her friends, my son is a doctor, my son is a doctor. That was her dream. But I took her to the side and I said, Mom, I want to open up my first gym. I want to open up a transformation center. I want to help other people experience what I experienced, because lifting weights and getting in shape really changed my life, changed my mentality. Not only changed me on the outside, but it actually changed me who I am. And all the discipline and delayed gratification that I've learned from weightlifting and bodybuilding is what I apply today in business. So when I told her I wanted to open up a gym, at first she's like, are you going to practice chiropractic? And I said, of course, wink, wink. And so I borrowed $20,000 from my mom. And at that time, through doing personal training, I also had $20,000 that I actually saved. So, and the first gym that I wanted to do, they required $35,000 deposit because the rent was $17,500 and security deposit was $17,500. That meant that's $35,000 gone. I only had $5,000 to capital, and in 30 days, $30,000 due because the rent and overhead was due in 30 days. So with my back against the wall, I didn't want to move back to my mom in Pennsylvania. Now I'm in California. I started hustling. I started working 60, 70 hours a week. And I was just, going out, and I wasn't a natural salesperson, but I became one. When your back is against the wall, that's when I had to perform. So I started having some success. And what I mean success is I was working 60 to 80 hours a week minimum. And I was taking home 10, 15 grand a month. And remember, I'm from a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania. When you make 2, 3 grand a month, you're doing good. Now I'm making 10, 15 grand a month. I was living large. I was living the dream at the time. And I thought this was it. So after having success for a while, and I was doing really good, The problem was that no one ever taught me about the ups and downs in the economy. I thought that, when I was making money, I was always going to make money. And, I bought my first home. That home started appreciating, and I thought I was just this great businessman. But nobody told me that when, the fish are jumping into the boat, everybody's a good fisherman because the economy was booming. And then came 2008, the Great Recession. And that nearly wiped me out. I was overextended. I never planned for a bad economy. And that was one of the worst times of my life. So for a period of 2008 to 2010, I was just trying to make things work. Because one-on-one personal training was dead. I was trying to pivot. I was trying to do small group training. And then we came up with the concept of boot camp. Boot camp means that instead of doing one-on-one personal training, we get a group of people to work out in a setting with one trainer. At first, I thought this might not work. Thank God my business partner said, hey, let's just try it out. Let's just try it. I'll run all the classes, and you just do the marketing for it. And I'm so glad we did, because that boot camp that I thought wasn't going to work became an international franchise that it is today. We have over 100 locations. We have changed millions and millions of people's lives. And it's been one of the greatest things that I've ever done. But have I not been open-minded to it? Have I not wanted to try it? I would have never been there. For those of you who are listening to this, know that getting out of comfort zone is the only way for you to be able to succeed. Because if you're comfortable doing what you're doing, then nothing's going to change. And if nothing's going to change, then nothing's going to change. So comfort is the enemy of progress. So at first when we started the boot camp, it was a lot of growing pains. So we didn't know exactly what price point, what to do. Our first gym, we started with $9,000. That's all we had. It had concrete floors. When you look back, we had one boom box, one CD player that we played the same CD for 2 years. And after a while, we saw that people were loving it. People were loving working out together. People were loving that, the price point wasn't as much as a personal trainer. And guess what? It was actually more profitable for us because personal training is a flawed model, because for every trainer, for every client, we have one trainer. And as revenue grew, so did the payroll. But with this new bootcamp model, as the revenue grew, the payroll didn't chase it. So we were up to something. And after a while, I saw that the revenue started going, and the revenue started going, and revenue started going. And we sat with each other and said, you know what? Why don't we open up a second location? So we opened up a second location. We're able to be successful. We opened up a third location. And next thing you know, we opened up the fourth location a year after. And when you started to open up one location, another location, now you have to put systems together. Now you have to have operating procedures. Because you can fake it, doing great for 1, 2, or maybe 3 locations. But anything after 2 to 3 locations, you need to have the right procedures, right system, and the right people to run the location. And that was a huge growing pain. That's a huge growing pain. That's a huge crossroad for any business, for you to be able to succeed as you are able to scale into more and more locations. But we were able to do that successfully. And then one day, one of our clients came in. One of our clients have lost over 40 pounds with her husband. And she asked me, Sam, I want to open up my own location. Would you entertain us franchising your concept? And at first, I didn't really pay any attention to it. Because, as a business owner, you always have a bunch of people with an idea coming to you. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe. And then she come in and she asked me again. And she asked me again. And she was persistent. So I'm like, okay, let me look into this franchising thing. And I'm so glad I did. I looked into franchising. We got some attorneys involved. We got our franchise agreement. And the rest is history. Once people found out that the camp was a business opportunity, we have so many people, especially our own clients that have gone and seen transformation, that want to be a part of it. What business is better than changing people's lives and be able to feed your family at the same time? And the camp started growing and growing and growing. And then once we got the camp, we're like, okay, we need actually our own supplement company. And we started our own supplement company to be able to feed our clients and make sure our clients are getting the right nutrients and the right, supplements they need to get results. And fast forward now, We are over 100 locations. We're an international franchise, and we're growing. Again, it all goes back to the beginning. Have I not got cut from the basketball team, I would have never found weightlifting. If I would not never found weightlifting, I would have never opened my own gym. Have the recession not hit in 2008, I would have still done personal training. I've probably had 1 or 2 locations. Everything in life, I believe, happens for you, not against you. And like Steve Jobs says, you can only connect the dot going backwards, never forwards. Now, the camp now, having over 100 locations, is like a kid that has left the college. It doesn't need me much because we have CEOs in place, CFOs in place. And now what I'm doing is I'm committed to growing this YouTube channel. I'm committed to providing as much information as possible to help you scale your business through my coaching programs, through my consulting programs, and through just providing content here for you to be able to apply to your life, to be able to take your life to the next level. So if you guys like my journey or have a similar story, or you just might just want to take your life to the next level, stick around because on this channel, I'm going to give you everything that I went through, everything that I messed up, all my successes, all my losses, I'm going to spill down on here. So stay tuned. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. I want you to tell me how you like the video. Do me a favor, drop me a comment below, and also drop a comment, what else do you want me to talk about? What are you struggling with? How can I provide more value? Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.